The time to build is upon us.
With great power comes great responsibility.
You know the greatest danger facing us is ourselves. An irrational fear of the unknown.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
This is the Superhuman Academy podcast.
What's up, Joe?
What's happening?
I'm excited to get dissected today. I've been looking forward to this for a while, just digging into all my genetics and putting it out there for the universe to see and take advantage of somehow.
Absolutely. That's what
I've not researched the risks of this at all, but here we go.
That's what we're here for, right?
Okay. Yeah. So what is it going to look like today?
It's going to be a bloodbath. No, I'm kidding.
Great.
I'll try to make it a little easy on you. Let's just see something. Where is this? I'm just going to pull up your information.
Yeah, if you want to screen share, that's totally cool too. A lot of people will just be listening, but for those who want to watch on YouTube or something, they can watch in real time. If you want to, do you want to screen share? Do you want to have that up?
Yeah, we could do that. Have you looked at your results yourself?
Kind of. I opened them a little bit. I skimmed around for 10 minutes, but I figured we're having this conversation. I'd love to just get...
We might as well.
Yeah, everything fresh in real time.
Okay.
So you can tell me my genetics are terrible. It'd be great.
I don't know about that. Is there any, so let's go here. See if you filled this out. Okay, you did. Okay, so let's go through, I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I filled out some surveys. I don't know if I filled out all of them, but.
Okay.
All right. Cool, digging in.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. This is, we'll pull that up. But actually, so there's a lot of ways to look at this. One is, we could go into a deeper dive into any one of these areas that you have. But I actually just like going directly, starting off. I haven't seen this before, so we're looking at this together.
Yeah, okay.
I like to directly dive
prioritize
into the recommendations. Yeah, exactly.
You've got it in biohacker mode, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I could turn that off also. Let's see. Yeah, I'll probably turn that off, to be honest.
Whatever you would do for yourself, that's what.
I would probably put it on biohacker mode, but
yeah, go for it. I don't even know what that means.
It could get a little overwhelming if it's in biohacker mode. Let's just start with this.
Okay.
For now. So, do you like supplements, or what's your deal?
Honestly, I'm kind of blank slate right now.
Okay.
I'm looking to kind of start from ground zero for my health and just put myself back together. Several years ago, I kind of got into budget biohacking, I guess. I was just looking for, biggest bang for my buck in terms of what I could do. And what I learned at that point, I ended up getting some different supplements and things like that, but I really just focused on trying to improve my sleep and exercise, kind of like the basic stuff that contributes to a lot of that. But now I'm at a stage where I want to tinker and I want to figure out what makes me feel the best on a regular basis. So yeah,
okay.
I'm kind of open to all of it right now.
Okay. I actually want to start, are you interested in longevity as well?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good.
You're interested. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start asking. There's a few questions that we got to fill out for this thing.
Sure, that's fine.
Do you know the ethnicity for any of your grandparents?
I think so. Yeah, I think all of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay. It makes a difference for some of the models here. What is your father's, your grandfather?
Yeah, big picture. Like I've traced our ancestry back. I used some other tools to do that years ago, and
okay, we also have ancestry here, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Basically, both sides of my family both come from England. We came here in like the 1600s to the United States.
Got it.
Both sides.
So you're pretty much English.
pretty English, yeah. It goes back to Northern Europe way back, but yeah.
Okay. Let's just go. I'm just gonna type in English here.
English across the board will be pretty accurate, I think, based on what I've seen.
Okay. I could see you looking English. Could see that. Okay, so have you ever been told that you had any of the following: low bone mineral density, low EGFR, high blood sugar, high
I have not
triglycerides,
been
high
told.
cholesterol?
Not been
Okay.
told. So no.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any of the following?
Asthma. Yep, asthma up there at the top. There's so many on here. The rest of them, no.
Yeah, I don't think any of these
Just asthma.
continue. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. We'll have that.
So all of these different surveys, do they all feed into changing all of the recommendations? Like they're all
They feed
or
into
how does that work?
different things. It depends
Okay.
on what survey and what. Yeah, they feed into different things. Do you take any medications?
Nope.
Okay, so then we
Like
don't
I
need
said,
it.
I'm like blank slate at this
All
point.
right, got it.
Yeah.
All
Start
right,
from
so
zero.
starting off at the recommendations, it says maintain optimal levels of vitamin D. Have you ever checked your vitamin D levels recently?
I don't think I've gotten them checked. No.
Ever?
I don't know. I might
Okay,
have
all
they
right.
might have come up in a panel at some point, but not recently for
All
sure.
right. So what you could see is that vitamin D, the reason why I like this is because we could also look at your genetic risks, and I could see what's going on
Mhm.
pretty quickly just based on, you know, just based on what you filled out here. So you got some back pain, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And was that after an injury?
No, I've had back pain basically since I was, I don't know, probably like 10. Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
wow.
consistently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And is it like all the time, or it's like
It's
comes and goes?
it's pretty much all the time. I almost always have like this kind of fiery feeling along my shoulder blades, and then I also get I've got quite a bit of pain in my neck typically, and then my lower back has more come and go, flares up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
So
fun
that
stuff.
we got some
Yeah.
back pain. Vitamin D helps with back pain.
I didn't
And
know that.
yeah, so it's associated with 20%, 28% increased prevalence of low back pain. And yeah, so it could just be, for example, that I mean, that could definitely help, right? It's one of the things. It'll also help with energy levels. How do you say your energy levels are?
I I would describe myself as somebody who's consistently low energy, and I have to, it's not like fake it till I make it exactly, but it's like I've learned how
You
to
gotta exert a lot
adapt
of
to it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
so I mean,
definitely end the day very exhausted. Already by like 4 PM most days, I'm pretty tapped
wiped.
out, and I've gotta like push through quite a bit.
Got it.
Yeah.
So vitamin D could help with the energy levels. It could also help with some of your goals here, like cognitive function, longevity, libido, sleep quality, and strength.
Mhm.
And then it also you have some genetic risks here, like you have a risk for food allergies. Do you have any food allergies?
Not that I know of. I definitely have some sensitivities here and there, but not like nothing serious that I've discovered yet.
Okay. I mean, they kind of sometimes they go together. Like it's hard to differentiate between an allergy and a sensitivity.
Sure.
Um, the kidney stuff is more like long term. It says
Mhm.
you're more predisposed to flu. Prostate cancer is interesting. This is one of the things that you're more predisposed to in the future.
Wonderful.
Now, yeah, all men will eventually get prostate cancer, but if you're at a high genetic risk, it could be earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, and I'd say this one is it's an important one, the prostate cancer one. Does anybody in your family have bipolar?
Not that I know of, but
Okay.
I do not know my family's medical situation super well.
Okay. So then you're also at a higher risk for type 2 diabetes. So you want to measure your, your blood sugar over time, I would say.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would say, look, so people always have a risk for a lot of the people have risk for stuff. That's normal. I wouldn't say basically you shouldn't freak out by the risk. Um, what I would do is, yeah, I wouldn't freak out. I would just say, these are, you want to do things that are going to help prevent. So vitamin D is the thing with like natural stuff. It's not a drug that's going to just, take care of your energy levels, but it's going to do a lot of small things. It's going to help prevent this a little bit. It's going to help prevent that a little bit. Let's see how it's related to prostate cancer. It reduces the prostate cancer risk. So higher blood levels have 30 to 50% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. So these are all related to prevention, right? Because
Yeah.
you're not gonna you're not gonna have these things at your age for almost all these. There's a few, maybe like flu. You're more likely to get a flu, but I would say that for the other stuff, the other stuff is more likely to come as you get older, right?
So I wanted to ask you, like,
Yeah.
just based, there's tons of information here, obviously. I think there were like over 600 reports or something crazy.
More
So
than that, yeah.
yeah, which is
It's like
a
a
little
12
overwhelming.
months. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, let's say I'm a total blank slate and you're able to just design my lifestyle, my diet, my supplementation, my whatever. I'm curious, if you had free reign, what would you do?
So I
If
would take vitamin D. Basically, I want to just show you first
that
how
makes
this
sense.
works,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
sure.
it's you shouldn't freak out about any of the risks here, but omega-3 you could see is also counteracting a lot of the risks. Okay,
Sure.
so I'd make sure you're taking omega-3. It's also going to help the back pain.
Yeah.
Vitamin C, I think, is a good one. It's going to help with the tennis elbow. So tennis elbow is a sign that you're not producing enough collagen, and that also is going
Hmm.
to lead to pain often. Do you work out?
Interesting. Yeah, I basically all of my workout is jujitsu. I do jujitsu 4 times a week, and then I am generally active like throughout the day walking, but
Okay.
that's my main exercise.
And you get tennis elbow from where did that come from? Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I mean, I used to play tennis too.
Oh, okay,
And
fine.
and I would get it frequently then too, as the name implies, but, yeah, I get
Right.
it from jujitsu as well.
Got it. Okay, but that's really what this is about is it's not enough collagen production, generally speaking.
Okay, interesting.
And that could also relate to back pain as well. Like when you don't have enough collagen, it
Mhm.
doesn't repair as easily, and then you get pain.
Yeah. So
So
would you go
yeah.
through, so right now you're showing me like a recommended supplement list. Would you just go through and just start taking all these? Like, go for it?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
so when I add them specifically, it also will come up with my protocol. You see this note? It's gonna show up with my protocol.
Yeah, okay.
It won't do it if I'm not your professional. So the idea is that uh, you know, I would definitely start with all these so far. Yeah. Like the
Mhm.
idea is that you have to take as much as you're comfortable with, right? You would take as much as you're comfortable with. Some people it could be the top 3 things, some people it could be 5. But I'm talking with you and trying to see like, okay, what are you comfortable with here? Right? I
Yeah,
mean, how many supplements are you comfortable taking a day?
I I don't, let's just assume as many as
As
possible.
I want to give you?
Sure, yeah, why not?
All right. I would also take curcumin.
Okay,
So you could see it's going to help with the energy levels. I think it should help with the pain as well. Let's put it, see if you put it on biohacker mode, sometimes well, it comes up with more stuff here,
yeah,
but I think it could potentially help with the inflammation from the pain.
okay.
There's probably no clinical trials showing specifically for back pain. That's why it's not showing up, but in general, it should help.
Yeah, so if I'm understanding this correctly, like, the way that this is working, it's taking into account things like clinical trials, but it's also, you're looking at a massive database of, like, correlations between, um, like, the people's reports who are in your system of genetic associations and lifestyle associations with how they're feeling and all of that. So
Hmm.
is that right? So it's taking that into account to figure out
Yeah.
this could help with. so and so, even though there may not be trials for that.
Well, no, there's trials. Okay, so the way it's working is looking at the symptoms and conditions, the goals you put in, and all the DNA risks. There's trials that show that it helps with everything here.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
And the question is, but you don't want to take something for only one reason typically, right? Like if it's just related to energy levels, you might not take curcumin. It's not the number one supplement for that. But because you have a lot of other things like higher risk for food allergies or sensitivities, you have higher risk for hay fever, which it's basically like similar to asthma,
Mhm.
which you have, right? Do you ever have hay fever, like seasonal allergies?
Uh, Mild, very mild.
Okay. So you have some risk there. It has similar mechanisms. Often people with asthma, they also usually have like seasonal allergies. It
Yeah.
often goes together. You do have a risk for lower energy there, poor muscle recovery. So this could be, for example, the slower muscle recovery is leading to pain because you're just not recovering quickly enough.
Okay.
And and it's also going to help with certain other things like prostate cancer, like prevention. It's not going to necessarily treat it if you have it, but if you're taking it over a long time, it has like anti-cancer properties. So in a study with 50 patients with elevated PSA, after treatment, PSA levels decrease significantly.
Mhm.
This
So,
actually,
am I
yeah,
understanding correctly, like, this recommendation list is already kinda sorted by
it's sorted
the
and
amount of impact?
yes. And what I'm
Okay.
doing is going over it and making sure that it's like, it's sorted with, intelligence, like software intelligence,
Yeah.
but and some AI, but I'm going over it and because there could just be something that might not make sense here and there.
Yeah.
Just
So I'm
like you're
curious
not
with
gonna
this, a lot of these are,
go.
like, very individual, they're not, like, combined, and so I'm wondering, does it already take into account or will it show me, like, "Hey, if you're taking this one, you should definitely also be taking this one together, like, don't take these separate." Does it take that sort of thing into account or not really?
There's very few things that you shouldn't take together. I don't think there's any that I would say you shouldn't take these together.
I
I
guess I'm
can't
more
think of
wondering, like, well, this one
the
makes
negative
this other one more
interactions.
effective. I'm not really thinking about the negative interactions so much as, like, the positive interactions of, like,
The positive synergies.
yeah, like, I don't know anything about this stuff, but it's
The
like,
problem is,
does
yeah,
curcumin make another one more
it's
bioavailable or something like that?
overrated. No,
Okay.
that stuff is overrated.
Okay,
I would
interesting.
just say that, yeah, I've never seen it actuality, like in actuality, come into play.
Huh, alright.
Yeah, I take 170 supplements a day, and
That's wild. Do you take them,
I
like,
don't.
primarily in, like, a mixed powder form, or do you just take tons of
No, a lot of them are in mixed powder forms,
yeah.
and then a lot of them are in pills. So I'll take 150 pills.
Dang. Your pee
Yeah,
must
and
look,
then
like, radioactive. Is it glow in the dark?
oh yeah, uh, yeah. So the thing is that like for me, I don't notice that you take two things together. There's like positive or things are I don't know things work on their own more or
Okay.
less, and there is an interaction. I just don't think it's significant enough that
Yeah,
it ever
don't
really
overthink
makes
it.
a big difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Except for something
Interesting.
like, if you take activated charcoal with supplements, yes, you're gonna like reduce the absorption or it's gonna bind to some of the supplements you're taking. Okay. If you take
Mhm.
a chelator with a mineral, it could bind to that mineral. But these things are usually not so strong anyway that it makes like activated charcoal, sure, but otherwise, again, these things aren't so strong that it really makes a big difference.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's saying zinc here is going to help you with a lot of your genetic risks here. Do you
Mhm.
ever have acne?
A little bit sometimes, not bad.
Okay. Migraines ever?
Also very infrequently, but it's happened before. I've probably had a handful in my life that I would call, like, actual migraines.
Okay, interesting. Um, any OCD tendencies at all?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Or maybe someone
that's
else could
fine.
psychoanalyze me with it, but I don't think so.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I would say the zinc is gonna help with just overall health, like a bunch of prevent certain things, and it's also gonna help with cognitive function, libido, sleep onset, sleep quality, and testosterone levels,
Mhm.
which is one of your goals.
Yeah.
So I think zinc is people typically don't get enough zinc in their diet. So I think zinc is a good thing, and I think the dosage here that 50 milligrams a day works. Magnesium, this is also another thing that's typically very good. That could help with your energy levels, cognitive function,
I was gonna
sleep.
ask you, does this
Yeah.
take into account, like, well, like, would it make food-based recommendations before supplementation-based recommendations to get the same things, or is it gonna treat them separately? Like, "Oh, if you're eating this diet, then you don't need to supplement with this anymore because 'cause you're already covering it with these foods."
We have food-based recommendations, but this is if the recommendation shows up, it's typically even with no matter what your diet is, it's still
Hmm,
relevant.
okay.
In this case here, we have magnesium. You see magnesium can help you even more because it's saying that with your magnesium levels, right? If your magnesium is low, then you're at increased risk for diabetes in particular,
Mm. Based on the what was that gene?
based on a specific genetic variant. And you also
Yes.
have a lower
Okay.
likelihood for magnesium. You're predisposed to higher magnesium needs.
Huh.
Um, yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
this is the
I had seen this
TRPM6.
before. TRPM6 gene variant gives me a higher odds
Yeah,
if I don't
and
have
there's a direct
diabetes.
study here. People with your variant have higher odds of diabetes if they don't get enough magnesium. Now you
Okay,
have a
yeah,
higher risk of diabetes overall based on, millions of variants or, it's
okay.
like based on a lot of things. But this is one pathway that increases your risk and it comes into play when you don't get enough magnesium.
Alright, the yeah,
It's
so these are really
also
interesting. So
related
when you
to
click on
muscle
these,
recovery, by the way.
I
So,
noticed it's
and
showing
energy levels.
so can you click on one of those with the little
Well, it's
double
yeah,
helix,
let's see.
the impact and evidence.
So why the reason it's coming up is because it says you're predisposed to higher magnesium needs.
So where
So
can you just explain where it says impact and evidence on there?
yeah,
Um,
it's just how big the impact is. One is like an impact of one and evidence of one is if the impact is not that great. Now, like impact of two is already more significant. Evidence of one could be like a small clinical trial. As you see here, a placebo controlled trial of 22 college age
kinda like
participants found
how
that
well studied is this effect?
yeah, it's how well
Okay,
studied. So 22
interesting.
people is a small trial. It's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's why the evidence is one, but they found that people who took magnesium for 10 days reduced muscle soreness and improved recovery. So and it makes sense. Magnesium, like it does make sense that magnesium improves recovery. So what
Mhm.
we see here is that actually this is, pretty interesting because you do have a predisposition for lower magnesium. And you also have, I think the muscle recovery, the low energy, these things are related to magnesium.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how is your mood stability overall?
That's pretty stable.
Okay.
Yeah. I would
So
say
I
I
would say
saw on there
magnesium.
it listed seasonal low mood, and I would
Yeah.
say, yeah, like, definitely the dark winter months, which we have a lot of in Indiana.
It's
I
pretty
feel
brutal on you.
yeah, and it's not that I feel, like, sad, it's just I feel like there's been a blanket put over my personality. It just kinda tones everything down quite a bit,
Right. So
which I'm not super
magnesium
fond of.
should help with that as well.
Yeah. Okay,
So that's
so
why I'm
yeah.
basically looking this over and saying, okay, I'm giving this my blessing here.
Yeah, I see that red flag. What is that?
it means that there's some kind of negative interaction.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
you have a predisposition for an underactive thyroid, and this could help. This could lower your thyroid hormone levels more. But in this case, what I would do is just ask you to check your thyroid hormone levels.
Okay, so would you say check them, then take that, and then check them again? Is that what you're thinking?
It I would just take it, to be honest.
Okay.
But I would also check your levels. You could check it after, you could check it before. You want to make sure
Okay.
that your
Interesting.
levels they're just not low. But again, it's a flag. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Mhm.
It does get a little downvoted with the flag, but basically this L-carnitine is going to help you with your energy levels, energy and libido, stamina, and testosterone. I found that L-carnitine increased my testosterone and probably and energy levels as well.
So,
So I
I'm
think that's a
curious,
good thing.
you personally, because you said you take, like, 177 supplements or something like
Yeah,
that
I take
a
all
week.
these that I
How
added
did
already.
you did you just kinda say, I'm just gonna take everything I can take," or did you stack them one at a
No, I
time and
stacked them. I started since I'm 20, and
slowly
I've
worked
been
up?
doing slowly building up.
Wow.
Yeah, I just didn't start one day. I'm like, I'm gonna take 170.
Yeah, 'cause that
It wasn't like Brian Johnson style, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try to live to whatever, and
Yeah.
and now I'm just gonna start taking a whole bunch of supplements. It was very gradual.
Yeah, it seems like that. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal, but it seems like that'd be a pretty significant, like, shock to the body to start, like,
I
taking
don't
over
think
100 things.
No, I don't think it's a
No?
shock to the
Okay.
body, but the problem is it's the real issue is that you wanna see how things are affecting you more individually, right?
Yeah.
Like, ideally, you want to try one at a time. You could start with a mega dose of vitamin D levels and just see how you feel that day, right?
Yeah.
The real way to do this, in my opinion, is I mean, you have to do it under supervision, but basically, like, do a mega dose. In your case, a mega dose could be like 50,000 IU vitamin D levels. See what that
Yeah, like,
does.
when you say mega dose, is there, like is there a standard definition for what that means?
No, no, no. That's why I say it has to be under supervision.
Okay. Got it.
Because if you don't know what you're doing, you might take the wrong dosage. You might, it's just 50,000 IU could be a mega dose of vitamin D. Fish oil, um, you could take I like the Nordic Naturals, like liquid one. You could take
Mhm.
2 tablespoons of fish oil and see how you feel.
Okay. So, the purpose of the mega dose
And by
is
the
what?
way,
To get a better
you have
sense
the
of how
notes
your body
here.
reacts
So
to it?
yeah, like you have notes, and so I give you links. This link's not working in particular, but yeah, normally I give you the links. If you have any problems with any links, let me know. But basically,
Yeah.
um, yeah, fish oil when you're gonna try like you have. When's the last time you took fish oil ever?
Yeah, I took that, but it was years ago.
So you can try it like a good amount in one try, and then just see how you feel. Right,
See if I can swim better.
100%. Um, but I think it might help your pain, your back pain, actually.
Okay, interesting. Alright, so
So,
since I'm
it's
getting
one of the
from
core
this
stuff, I think, 'cause
yeah,
it helps with inflammation.
I'm thinking go down this list, with supervision, with some support. Go down this list and kinda add things, see how I feel, and just keep going down the list and add as many as I can reasonably afford and put into my lifestyle. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
the recommendation
CoQ10
was
is another one of these things. I would add it and see how you feel.
hmm,
NAC could be another one. I would say until L-carnitine, these are, like, more or less no-brainers.
okay,
Probiotics is also something that I would say, but again, it's helping less of your in particular goals and problems, right?
yeah,
But it's still helping with some of your genetic risks.
got it,
You
okay.
have, again, you have certain predispositions here. You don't have eczema, do you?
I had it a few times as a kid, but I have not had it in a
Oh,
long
you
time.
did? Because you have a predisposition here.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get respiratory infections? Like,
I mean, probably sometimes, but it's not been a significant thing.
okay, probiotics I would say is pretty good. I think Panax ginseng is a good one also. That is going to help with your energy levels.
Hmm.
I like this
Okay.
one. You got to take the right one.
Seems like I'm gonna be spending a lot of time clicking through these. Looking looking
Yeah.
through yeah, there's so much information. So, alright, let's maybe go from supplementation to where would you move next?
Okay, so yeah, I would say that, like we said, you're going to go through this list and try one thing at a time. Okay.
Yep,
Um, and then you're adding it to the action plan. So, by the way, here's your action plan.
cool, okay, that's just the things that you hit the plus mark on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it.
You could download your action plan if you want. There's a meal planner if you want to try to find some meals. So it'll give you some meal ideas. Again, this is if you like cooking. It's giving you like, let's say you got to decide what kind of meals you want,
D
and when
Okay, so
you
the meal planner real quick, does this tie into any of the genetic stuff, or is this
it
just
does.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So it's saying this is a source of magnesium,
Oh,
and the
okay,
reason
that's
it's
what I
saying
was
that is because you
yeah,
have a increased need for magnesium.
got it, okay, that's cool.
So it is tying into it. Now, again, this is something you look through the meals and you could see, why is this telling me to what you're really going to do is um yeah, and it even gives you a warning. This meal may raise blood sugar and you because you're risk for type 2 diabetes, right?
Got it. That's really cool.
Um but it's good. It's basically just giving you some tips on, hey, how do I incorporate some things that maybe are a source of magnesium, right? Which
Yeah,
is which is seems like your biggest likelihood of nutrient deficiency.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, you just click on a bunch of stuff and be like, okay, like I don't know if you. It depends on what you want to do here, but it's essentially just you could see, oh, maybe, okay, if I take this, it's going to be a source of magnesium. That's good to know. And I have low
Yeah, I like
levels.
it. Like, having the reference is cool, being able to sort them like
Mhm.
that. Okay, so we go from supplements, we could check out the meal planner. Where would you go next?
If you have specific questions, I would go to the Decoded GPT, just FYI. I wouldn't go there. For me, I know where to find stuff and I'll use it sometimes, but typically I already know, like I have my own way of doing things. It's more for beginners, I think.
Okay, and real quick, what would be maybe the top 3 to 5 questions that you would plug into something like that to get the best information?
So if we go here, it says, like, what should I focus on improving first? So let's just see. Like, there's some sample questions you could do. What it's doing is looking at your, uh, yeah, it's looking at different areas. Bone health. This is something I would get measured, actually. So you could
Hmm,
do a DEXA scan, right?
DEXA scan. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So, yeah, what does that do?
A DEXA scan is going to look at your bone health and see how your bone health is.
So it's just like bone density? Is that what it's looking at, or what
It's related to
does
bone
that mean?
density, yeah.
Okay,
So these are, what blood test should I take? What show my impact, full SNPs for the MTHFR, show me top 10 supplement. I mean, these are questions that if you don't, it's like ChatGPT, but it looks at your personal information with your genetics. So it
yeah.
makes it a
So
little
it's
easier.
basically like custom GPT that's loaded up with my
Yeah,
genetic information
correct.
and yeah, got it.
Exactly. So
Okay.
that's an interesting tool. Then if you're looking at like specific things, so for example, let's say pain, I'd say is a big one for you because you mentioned it's something that is chronic for since you're 10, right?
Yeah, back pain.
Yeah. So we could look at, first of all, I want to show you something here. in the advanced tools, you could look at just things for a specific category. So we could do, well, I think the pain is more diffuse. It's not only your back, right?
It's up my spine, yeah. It's like through neck, upper back, and back, shoulders,
Okay,
lower
but
back.
it's not just the back. Is it? Would you say?
It's mostly the back. I mean, my
Alright.
elbows and my knees sometimes, but that's more on and off.
Okay, so let's see, back pain. We could do just back pain and find recommendations for that. That's another thing I would do.
Interesting. Okay, so this is in the
Yeah, so it's saying like
advanced
acupuncture.
filters.
We could also filter it by lifestyle, diet,
Avoid
supplements,
lifting heavy objects. That's funny.
right?
Yeah.
Some of them are shockwave therapy. That
What
could
is
be a good thing.
what is that?
I've done that before. It's pretty. It works. It's like this thing that it's like it puts some kind of pressure and in a
Huh.
certain way, and
Devil's
it
claw.
helps.
Huh. I've never heard of
Yeah.
that.
Let's see, Pilates. That's a good one. Cupping therapy. That's interesting.
What are
That
these
could work.
numbers on the left for each of these? So like reduce back strain, it's got 448 under.
This is a total, like the total, like where it shows up in the general recommendation list.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, like
Interesting.
if I take off any filters, acupuncture should be number 16.
Overall, like all recommendations, it'll be number
Mhm.
16. I see. Okay. Huh.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty cool.
if I take off the filter, let's see. You see?
Okay. So here, go to the top. I'll just, for those who are just listening, I'll just kind of read through this. So like what it's showing me right now, number 1 is maintain optimal vitamin D levels. 2 is yoga. 3 is
And
Mediterranean
see why
diet.
yoga is helping with the
Sure.
back pain and energy, and yeah,
Yeah, I'll replace yoga with
I'm gonna
jujitsu.
add that.
4 omega-3s, 5 green tea, 6 walking. So it's like integrating diet, lifestyle, supplementation
Mhm,
all into one list. Okay.
mhm. Yeah, and then some of the, um yeah, you could go through each one in, it gives you different, like, lifestyle stuff to
And if
consider.
I just upload, like, if I upload labs and things like that, will it shift this list too? It'll take all that
It
into
will,
account?
yes. It'll
Wow.
shift the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. That's
And
pretty
not only shift the list, it'll also show you another tab here that's related to
Oh, okay.
which labs it's helping with.
Nice.
So that's typically what I'll do before, if I give a consult, I'll make sure the person has labs uploaded.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ancestry that's more for entertainment. Um, let's see here. Okay, so we have pain. There's a health overview. Typically, I recommend people look at this health overview report first. And what it shows you is the things that are um like weakest first. Blood sugar control. It seems like so blood sugar control, nutrition, bone health, liver health, and energy and fatigue are
Mhm.
the weakest areas. How's your blood sugar control?
I don't even know how to answer that question, honestly.
Right, you're not checking it. You can get a
No, I'm
blood
not paying
glucose.
attention.
So in your case, I would get a continuous glucose monitor and
Okay.
just measure your blood sugar control. Yeah, see
Huh. Is that,
how well
like,
you're doing.
how do those work? I've never used one. Is that, like, invasive at all?
No, it's a thin needle you put in your arm, and
You just keep it there?
yeah, you keep it there for 2 weeks.
Oh,
Now, some
okay.
people recommend doing this in general. I don't think it's needed, but if you have a genetic risk for this, I would do it.
Alright, I'll check that out.
So you have an increased need for selenium, magnesium, sodium, and chloride. You have an increased need for vitamin E and vitamin B12. I think the biggest thing out of all these is probably the magnesium. You have an increased risk for gluten and dairy sensitivity. Do you have those?
Yeah, I think I probably do.
And you probably have some food allergies that you're not aware of.
Yeah, I seem pretty sensitive to eggs and a little bit of sensitivity to dairy. And I don't feel great when I
Right.
eat breads, things like that. It's not like terrible.
Yeah.
It's
So you have
that's that gluten
sensitivities there.
sensitivity. Yeah,
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 you got those you probably have some other food allergies or sensitivities that you don't know about.
yeah,
But
probably.
so here's your DNA risks. Oh, you have a high risk for ApoB. This is significant. You
What
could
is
get
that?
this checked. It's a it's a risk for it's like LDL cholesterol, but it's not. It's more predictive for heart disease than LDL
Hmm,
cholesterol.
okay,
I also have a high risk for this one, and I do have higher levels. I have to bring it down for like if you want longevity purposes.
got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
So where would
this
you look
is
next?
good to know. I would measure your ApoB levels. So trying to discover food sensitivities because I think that could contribute to your contributes to your back pain and also contributes to the energy levels.
I never connected food sensitivities to back pain, but that's
It absolutely could be related. Yeah.
yeah. Is there so if I go to like the GPT, could I ask it like based on all this, what labs should I get done? Like what would be
You
the
can do that,
priority?
and, absolutely, you can do that, but there's
Oh,
also
there,
what I'm saying
recommended
is
test.
there's a
Okay,
place yeah, recommended test.
cool.
It's gonna tell you what tests you should take based on so the first thing is the amino acid panel, an iron panel, and it tells you why. It gives you the reasoning. So if we look at the amino acid panel, it says it's related to these things, and if we click on it, says, it includes measurements of histidine. Histidine may improve fatigue, which is true. This is something that actually helped me in my case. I saw I was
Mm,
low in histidine. I took histidine and my energy levels did improve. Iron, TIBC, and ferritin panel. So let's see how genetically higher iron is causally associated with an increased risk of back pain. So if you have high iron, ferritin, that could be contributing to back pain. We don't know that unless you check your iron levels. And
mhm.
you could go through each of these and see like, okay, energy, well, low ferritin or iron could be a cause of fatigue. So we want to check is your iron high or low, right? On the one hand, it could be high because of the back pain. On the other hand, it could be low because of the fatigue. We won't know until we check.
So I guess something I'm getting from all of this, like I've gotten a bunch of random recommendations from friends and people who are kind of into biohacking, and they'll just throw something
Mhm.
out like, "Man, you gotta try red light therapy. Like, you need to get
Right,
yourself some panels, or you need to try"
right.
like, popular recently, I've heard several people say, "You need to start taking methylene blue," which I haven't seen that pop up on here. So, kind of the sense I'm getting is, like, just getting those kinda random recommendations and then plugging them
Not
in.
a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like there's
It's not
so much to
a,
take into
yeah.
consideration here.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to take into consideration. It's not that it's bad per se, but I'd be careful with taking recommendations from biohackers because I'd be careful of taking recommendations from most people, to be honest, because
Yeah.
almost everybody I talk to doesn't know what they're talking about, right? Like they really methylene blue, for example, is a recommendation that literally after I would say that's recommendation number 2000, right? Like if you've literally tried a whole bunch of other things first, then you go to methylene blue, sure, right?
Yeah.
I'm still at the level where I've been doing experiments for 18 years. I've taken methylene blue before, but I'm not at the like I would say that I've so many lower hanging fruit to try. It's like you're reaching at the top of this huge tree when there's just ripe fruit ready to go. right?
Yeah, and that's
That
kinda what I came
you
to a
can
few
pick
years
off.
ago when I was started to do this. It was like, I was getting all these recommendations for these really obscure supplements, like, "Hey, this thing is scraped off of a mountain and somewhere, like,
Exactly.
gotta take it." And, I just kept coming back to, well, like, yeah, I could take that, but also my sleep is kinda crap right now, and maybe if I'm guessing if I sleep a little better, that will be way more of an impact than taking this random thing, and so I just kinda focused on basic lifestyle stuff first, but, um, yeah, it seems like it'd be really easy to take a bunch of random stuff or do random stuff, and it may or may not have any impact, but what
Right.
this is providing me, it seems to be, like, a much more evidence-based, like, here's the first stuff, do this first, worry about that stuff once you've been biohacking for 30 years and you run out of new things to try.
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Sleep often comes up as number 1 here actually, or top 5.
Yeah, I'm
In
surprised
your
it's not in there,
case,
honestly.
it's not in there because you probably picked that you sleep, like, a certain amount of time somewhere. You
Yeah,
filled out some questionnaire. And the reason we do that is because when we put it up there and it's, like, if people are sleeping, if you've indicated somewhere that you're sleeping a certain amount of time or whatever, then you might not wanna see that again, right? So or people just come in and they're like, "Oh, this is so obvious. What is this telling me to do here?" Right? Like, I paid to get a genetic test, now it's telling me to sleep. So,
yeah,
there's, like, certain things that we hide if you indicate that, like, avoid smoking and sleep.
yeah,
We will hide that if you and aerobic exercise are, like, top 3. If you indicate that you exercise, so you probably indicated you did jujitsu or whatever, and you probably sleep a certain amount of time.
yeah,
It just didn't show up because, clearly you're already thinking about that, right?
yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of, like, the basic stuff already.
So that's
Um,
why it didn't show up.
right,
But
which makes sense.
normally it would show up actually. And so if you weren't sleeping and you would indicate that, it's gonna show up, and then, and then you'd be like, "Okay, look, this is number 1 for me," right? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna screw around with methylene blue until I get my sleep and try, things that are more important, right? So I would say that the way that you have to understand how these things work, right? If somebody makes a Instagram video on sleep, it's not going to get views because everybody knows about it, right?
Yeah,
If they make it on methylene blue, it's like, what is this cool new thing, right?
mhm,
That's why how much you hear about something and how good it is not actually always related.
yeah,
Because
very true.
there's gonna be skewing you'll hear more about peptides, right? People are talking about peptides, this peptide. There's no clinical trials on these things, right?
Mhm,
And I found that there's a lot lower hanging fruit. I've done the peptides, I've done like because I do everything, but I always come back to, wait a second, there's just other things that are more basic that I'm not doing yet, right? Why would I still do this after 18 years?
mhm,
Um, and I've got more experience with this than like, I know more about supplements than any of these biohackers. So you really have to be careful about the stuff that you read. It's really because the stuff that's weird and by the way, I wrote about methylene blue 10 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
On, yeah, so it's not like I don't know about methylene blue. It's just
I'm
that
getting yeah, I'm getting
yeah,
the same type of experience where it seems like, well, alright, people know about that thing, now we gotta come up with something else that people haven't heard
something
about
weird
yet.
and strange that nobody's heard about. And
Yeah,
usually if
right,
there's nobody heard about it, if nobody's heard about it, there's no clinical trials on it,
and it's low
right?
on the list, yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, that's gonna be the next big thing, like, "Oh, this thing," right? And you're like, "Have you tried, like, testing your vitamin D levels first?" You know? And
Yeah,
you're
that
like,
doesn't
"No."
sound
And
nearly as exciting though, right?
right. You're
Yeah,
like,
we're all
"I've never
looking for the
tested my
silver bullet.
vitamin D levels, but all my friends are telling me to take methylene blue." I'm like, "Alright." You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I've
saying? Like,
definitely
it's
been
like,
guilty of that stuff before, I see something and it's like, "Oh, I haven't heard of that before, that sounds fun. They're saying it's really great. Maybe I should do that."
yeah.
Thankfully,
Maybe
I'm
try yoga first, you know?
yeah. Thankfully, I don't tend to, like, jump on actually spending money on stuff. I just, like, look at it. I'm like, "Oh, that's kinda interesting," and then move on, but,
So I what I like to do is I'm looking at the pain report,
okay.
and you don't have any genetic predisposition for chronic pain, which means that
Hmm,
it seems like it's more environmental.
interesting.
Well, but let's look at the same with back pain. So pain stuff is typically more environmental. It's not so genetic
Okay.
because and yeah, that's why it's actually not so easy to predict pain in general because it's mostly environmental. Um, it's like there's so many factors at play, and if you've ever gotten a physical injury being one of them, right?
Mhm.
What kind of sports you're playing. Like if you're an athlete who's, j- let's say you're running marathons and you have knee pain, you probably don't necessarily have a genetic predisposition for knee pain, right?
You're just running marathons, yeah.
Exactly. So there's nothing here that shows that you're predisposed to more pain per se. Although when we look at specific genes, um, you have a opioid receptor gene, but I don't think that's what's causing the pain per se. So your endorphins, it's linked to lower that receptor that activates with endorphins. It's also
Huh.
related to fatigue, by the way. So this is not on here, but first of all, you could look at recommendations related to this. Let's look at this report.
Man, this thing
Um,
has so much information. It's
yeah, it's a lot.
it just, like,
I
you can keep drilling
personally,
down forever.
you can absolutely. So this one also is related, but this is just based on a single pathway.
Yeah, OPRM1
Yeah, so this is looking at a
activity.
single variant, which means that it doesn't necessarily mean you're at higher risk for pain. You got one of the variants. It's not such a big deal. But it could just be interesting to understand that things that help with endorphins could help with your pain, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's another thing I wanted to maybe bring up and ask about because I've also, recently, for example, it seems like a lot of people have decided to talk about, like, MTHFR, I think that's what it is,
yeah,
and looking at really specific genes, and I wonder how useful that is to look at just, like,
not not very
1 or
useful.
2. Yeah, that's what
Not
I was
very useful unless you know you have a specific problem, and then you're just like, well, if I know I have pain, then I find certain genes. So, like, let's say if I say pain, um, yeah, if you know you have pain and you find a gene that might be increasing your risk, could be interesting to check that out, right? But in general, I would say it's not that interesting. So let's
yeah,
see,
like, in
MTH.
general, would you say it's accurate, like, your ability to predict your overall, like, health effects and experience from a single gene variant is probably extremely low, right?
Oh, absolutely. No
Yeah,
question about it.
okay,
So your MTHFR is typical. You don't have any issues there.
cool.
Yeah, so I would say that there's certain genes that are important. Like MTHFR is an important gene, right? There's no and that variant that people talk about is important. But if we were to say like what impact is that going to have on your health overall, it could be like a half a percent or like a fraction of a percent,
Yeah.
which is actually quite significant, but still they're making it like, this is 50% of your health issues is related to
Yeah, yeah, like,
MTHFR,
it's
right?
significant relative to other genes, but it's not super
Right.
significant relative to
Mm,
all the
but
considerations.
there's a lot of genes like COMT that is like most of the other, I would say besides MTHFR, most of the genes that they talk about in functional medicine or like COMT, not very relevant. It's
Hmm,
just the
okay.
the impact is very small compared to the total effect of like there's usually many pathways going on, and it's just not as relevant, right? It's not going to be so relevant, your COMT is typical activity. But yeah, it's these things are not going to be as relevant. It's you want to look at like network of genes or pathways,
Right.
and that you need like AI and looking at, uh, if we look at, let's say, type 2 diabetes. Here we go. We can look at this report here. We'll see where you're actually not that high risk, 65th percentile.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's still putting you at high risk because it's very common.
Sure.
So it has to do with how common it is also. Right? And here we're looking at over 1 million genetic variants.
Yeah.
So
A lot more than one.
yeah, and also it's highly genetic. So 80% of the differences in people's risk for getting type 2 diabetes is genetic.
Yeah.
Which means that it's not so, I mean, they have good drugs for it and there's a lot of things you could do for it. That's the good news, but there is a strong genetic predisposition to how you handle blood sugar, right? And I see people who eat junk food and their blood sugar is very well handled, and people who eat pristinely and it's not very well handled. That's a very good example of why how you see genetics plays a very big role. Like you
Mhm.
can do the perfect thing and your blood sugar levels could be on the higher end, whereas you could really not do like be healthy and it could be on like very healthy. So now the thing is that we have good medications and supplements to bring it down
Mhm.
so that you can measure it and see how you're doing, right? You're not actually that bad. You're actually very like borderline. Probably if you're like 64th, it would be like normal, right?
Yeah. Just over the edge. Yeah. Got it.
But you still want to, I'd say you still want to check your blood sugar levels and see, right? And you also have a low lifestyle risk that's helping you. We can now, if you had your labs uploaded, it would help us see what's going on there.
Yeah. It seems like that's the next step for me is I'll look
Absolutely.
at those lab recommendations, go through those,
Mhm.
then upload what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could see that there's 229 recommendations. There's a lot of ways, these are just natural ways to decrease blood sugar. So what I'm seeing is the reason why this pain report is important is because I don't think your pain is genetic. It's more lifestyle based, it seems like, or environmental. Like
Yeah.
something either you got an injury or something, right? And if it's an injury, you could do therapy and use different kinds of devices to heal the injury. That's one. Or it could just be like one specific thing, like you're just not getting enough collagen and you're not recovering as quickly, and therefore it's just causing pain. Like when it's genetic, it usually means there's a network of pathways that are causing it.
Yeah.
And then when there's a network, you can't just do one thing and it'll go away. It's typically you have to like do a bunch of stuff because there's a whole network of pathways that are involved, right?
Mhm.
In your case, yeah, but if it's something that like, oh, there's actually just one thing here. It could be an infection, for example. Who knows, right? Like there's probably like it could just be one thing that's making you have uh yeah, like yeah, that it's making you have this pain.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think I kind of have my work cut out for me. This has been really helpful. I appreciate this. And for
Yeah.
those who are listening, you might want to like watch the video version of this on YouTube because it'll probably make a whole. Yeah, I wanted to give you the opportunity too. You've been speaking directly to me a lot. Is there what would you like to say to anyone listening? Do you have any kind of big picture recommendations or ideas that you want to get out there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that people go wrong with doing like generic like I think people listen to their friends or an influencer, "Hey, do this, do that." I think we're wired to do that, but it just doesn't work here, right? And people are very confused about what they need to do. The answer is you need to do testing, right? You need to use software, you need to do a genetic test, you need to do lab testing. I'd say you start with a genetic test because it's going to give you the most information, right? As you could see, you could spend weeks here, not a problem. right? Like there's
Yeah.
so much
It seems like I could
information.
spend years looking through those if I
Yeah, I mean, we haven't scratched the surface, right? A lot of people come back to this all the time
Yeah.
and try to see, hey, what's going on here? Um, let's see if you have 1 second. Um, and it's just uh yeah, so bottom line is that I was looking for something before, but bottom line is you can spend a lot of time here and you could see a lot of stuff. I would recommend you notice that there's questionnaires.
Mhm.
So there's lifestyle assessments. Sometimes you might have a high DNA risk, but if you have a low lifestyle risk, that can counteract it. And yeah, I would say that start with the more basic stuff first, right? And then work your way up. So start with make sure you're doing the right lifestyle, the right diet, then work to supplements. That's how I did it in the past. I didn't start with supplements actually. I focused more on diet and lifestyle.
Yeah.
I always took supplements, but my focus was diet and lifestyle. Once my lifestyle was there, I did diet. I focused on diet. Lifestyle is more important than diet, I think. For
Okay.
me, actually, diet was more important, but most of the time, it's lifestyle is more important. So if you're
Interesting.
sleeping and exercising, it's more important than whatever your diet is, pretty much,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
there's steps to it.
Um, yeah, and also like getting fresh air, going outside. So I would say that like lifestyle, I focus number one, then diet, then supplements, but basic supplements, right? And then maybe more advanced supplements. But, like, I'm still not I mean, I've tried everything, but, like, I'm still not in the point where I'm like, I'm taking peptides every day or methylene blue. I'm still like, "Okay, I'll try it once in a while," and then I just stop doing it because 'cause I'm like, I don't really have a compelling reason or,
Yeah, and that's so
you know,
interesting because 'cause you're taking, you said 177 things a day, and those, like, kind of
170, yeah.
popular things that are coming up right now haven't even made made your daily list, so I think that says
Yeah,
something too.
it's not that it's not on my radar. Like I said, methylene blue, I've known about, I've written about, I've taken it 10 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Before it got
right.
popular, I was one of the first people taking it, actually. Literally, one of the first people trying it, uh, recreationally, if you will. But I just realized, like, what am I doing? I'm taking this blue dye here that, it's like there's not really a lot of information. There's not a lot of clinical trials. What am I doing with this thing? And there's just way lower fruit, like lower hanging fruit. And I was right, there is. I fixed my food sensitivities. I fixed all my health problems. I had like 75 health issues.
Mhm.
And I fixed all of them not with methylene blue or any of the peptides, right? And I think the people you see doing methylene blue and peptides, these are the people that haven't have their health issues fixed because they're going from one thing to the next. They're not really focusing on like doing it in the right way. They're just like, "Oh, somebody gave me this and okay, I'm going to take that."
Yeah,
Unless somebody's like, "Okay, this person has 20 years of experience and they just literally has gone through like every more basic experiment." I haven't met anybody like that, but I would say I'm on the forefront of that. I've done
mhm.
more mega dosing experiments than anybody I've ever met by far, by orders of magnitude, right? So
Yeah, that's really interesting. Did you write on all of those? Like, did you document all that stuff?
not, here and there, but not in like, not
Mm,
throughout, right? I've been doing an average, like a megadosing experiment every day, at least like once a day for the past 18 years.
wow,
So,
that's wild.
yeah, I'm doing experiments all the time. I've always been a human guinea pig, and I'm always researching and reading and looking at genetics and lab testing because this is what I do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I still cannot get to methylene blue yet. Like, I've tried it because I've tried a number of times, but I'm still like, how do I fit this in like a daily regimen? I'm not there yet, because
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like, what am I doing that like, what am I trying to do with this thing even? Okay, is it, what am I trying to, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to gain. Is this anti-aging? What's going on? Like, there's no research showing that even animals are living longer for this thing. What am I
yeah.
trying to gain with this thing? Right. So I don't know. It's not, what are people telling it to you for? Cognitive
I've heard
function or
people, yeah, talk about cognitive function, neuroprotective.
energy?
Yeah, neuroprotective benefits, energy levels, yeah, all that stuff.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I get the picture.
I've seen people taking methylene blue and making fun of me about, oh, you don't need to take supplements. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't add up. Eh,
Yeah, yeah.
the-
Well, I really
It's just
appreciate your take on it.
yeah, the shiny, flashy new thing that's coming on. And I'm not saying it has no use. I'm just saying that,
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's
we
just always
said,
tempting. It's
yeah,
like we all want the silver bullet. Like, I wanna take one pill that magically makes everything in my life better and, like, all like, makes me feel amazing, right? That's what everybody
right,
kinda wants, and I think the point is that if you just keep running around looking for that, not only are you not gonna find it, but you're gonna end up not doing all the other things that you could be doing that would get you a lot closer to that.
right, absolutely. And by the
Okay,
way,
well,
just as
you
an FYI,
yeah.
as a last thing, methylene blue. Forget about the fact that if you take a lot of it, you're just gonna start peeing blue, and your whole mouth is gonna look blue, and, like, your teeth are gonna get dyed, like, forget about that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It'll look like you had one of those blue lollipops every day.
yeah, but it does market itself because you could see somebody's, like, has a blue mouth.
Yeah, and it's weird, right? Weird
You look
things.
like a Smurf. You're just like, "Okay,
Uh,
he's one of those guys, huh?"
yeah, that's great. Well, you've gone through all of this without actually mentioning, like, the name of your company or how people can access. I mean, if people are watching the video, they can see this, but, for those who are just listening, could you share all that?
Yeah, it's SelfDecode.com, and by the way, we haven't gone through a lot of reports yet just because we didn't have time. But basically, it's selfdecode.com. People can find me on Instagram at Mr. Biohacker. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright, well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna be going through my reports in more detail, uploading my lab results, and, I'm gonna use SelfDecode as my primary tool to help me to figure out my health stuff over the next, the coming months and hopefully years as well. So, that's my plug. I'm going with it because you seem like a guy who knows what he's talking about. You've done the experiments on yourself, and I haven't. So, I'd
Yeah.
rather I'd rather follow in your footsteps than just kinda randomly going shooting at just shiny objects. So, I appreciate that. So, thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you for helping me go
Yeah.
through my own results too. I don't know if that's super interesting for everybody else listening, but it was definitely interesting for me. So, that's great.
Awesome. Yeah. Pleasure chatting.
Thanks, Joe.
Take care.
The Superhuman Academy podcast is hosted by Collin Jewett and designed and edited by Army Cinco, with original music by Joshua Shunig and voiceovers by Corey Page Shunig. That's me. You can find past episodes and resources, as well as access to the ever-growing Superhuman Academy community at superhumanacademy.com. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice.